you've ever been in that place. That place where everything inside you says, I can't take this no more. You gave it everything you had, every ounce of strength, every bit of hope, every breath in your lungs. And still, it wasn't enough. Now you're here, on the ground, in the cold, in the rain, with nothing left but silence and pain. This is the breaking point. And make no mistake, this is where most people stop. This is where dreams die, where potential goes to waste, where talent gets buried in excuses. It ain't loud. It ain't glamorous. It don't come with a warning. It just shows up when you're tired, when you're hurting, when you're all alone and no one's watching. You're not on the stage. You're not on the podium. You're on the floor, questioning if this fight is even worth it anymore. And in that moment, you hear that little voice in your head. Give up. You've done enough. Nobody cares. That voice is lying to you because this pain you feel, it's not here to stop you. It's here to build you. Pressure builds strength. Struggle builds character. Pain builds purpose. See, the breaking point ain't the end. It's the doorway, the moment where everything that's fake falls away. And what's real, what's true, what's worthy, that's what's left standing. Anybody can train when it's easy. Anybody can believe when they're winning. But who are you when it hurts? Who are you when you're down? When your legs are shaking? When your breath is short? When your heart's broken? When the whole world tells you it's over? This right here, this pain, this is where warriors are born. Not in the spotlight, not in the victory speech, but in the struggle, in the dark, in the lonely moments where the world forgets you. But God is still watching. So go ahead, sit in it, feel it, let it burn. But don't you dare let it break you. Because when it hurts, that's when it matters most. That's when you decide who you really are and what you're willing to become. It hits me in waves, the moments I wish I could erase. They come without warning. Flashes of failure, sharp and unkind. I see the shot I missed, the one that could have changed everything. My hand was shaking, my heart was racing, and I missed. I told myself it was just one mistake, but it didn't feel like one. It felt like the end of something I had worked so hard for. Then came the rejection letters, one after another. We regret to inform you. Those words became familiar, too familiar. Each one chipped away at the image I had of myself. An image built on hope, on dreams, on believing I was capable of something more. With every no, that belief began to crack. I remember standing on the edge of the stage, waiting for them to call my name, but they didn't. I clapped for someone else. I smiled through it, but inside, something sank. Not because I wanted to win, but because I had given everything and it still wasn't enough. There were competitions where I froze, interviews where I stumbled, times when I knew the answer, but my mind went blank. People who believed in me, and people who stopped. I replay it all. Sometimes at night, when the world is quiet and I can't sleep, the silence gives room for the memories to speak. And they do, loudly. You're not good enough. You're not cut out for this. Maybe you were never meant to succeed. It's amazing how regret has a voice, how doubt becomes a shadow that follows you around, whispering every time you try again. What if you fail again? You begin to question yourself. Not just your talent, but your worth. You wonder if you're just wasting time. You wonder if the dream you chase is chasing away your peace. I tried to forget, tried to bury the moments, the memories, the mistakes. But failure has a way of staying with you, not because it wants to torment you, but because it's asking question. What will you do now? That's the pain that lingers, not just the loss, but the silence that follows it. The pause between what happened and what comes next. And in that silence, I've found myself stuck, questioning, regretting, wanting to quit, but not quite quitting. Because deep down, even in the doubt, there's still something burning. A flicker, a whisper, a chance to try again. But for now, I feel the weight of it. The memories, the missed chances, the failures that shaped me and almost broke me. This is where it hurts the most. Enough. You've cried. You've questioned. You've sat in the ashes of your failure long enough. Now it's time to rise. Not because it's easy, but because it's necessary. You think you're the only one who's failed? You think champions don't know what it feels like to fall? Every legend you admire has a graveyard of regrets. But the difference? They didn't stay buried in them. They got back up. Pain isn't here to break you. It's here to build you. But you've got to stop treating it like your enemy and start treating it like your coach. I see your scars. I see the weight you carry. But I also see what's underneath. Potential, power, purpose. You've been running from it, hiding behind excuses, shame, and fear. But I'm here now, and I'm not going to let you stay down. You got something in you that can't be taught. It can only be revealed through pressure, through fire, through pain. So now you've got a choice. Stay there broken, bitter, and safe. Or stand up, bruised, bleeding, and ready, because if you're breathing, you're still in the fight. You want strength? You earn it when no one's watching, when it's cold, when it's dark, when you'd rather sleep, but you lace up anyway. This is where the real work begins. Not in front of crowds, not under the lights, but here, alone, in the silence most people run from. Discipline isn't loud. It doesn't beg for applause. It wakes up before the sun, and it shows up tired, sore, and hungry, again and again. You don't build greatness in comfort. You build it rep by rep, step by step, one painful inch at a time. Every time your body says stop, every time your mind screams give up, you answer with one more lift, one more sprint, one more round. Because this pain, this grind, it's not punishment. It's the price of becoming who you're meant to be. You're not just training your body. You're training your will, your discipline, your mindset, that fire that says, I don't stop when I'm tired. I stop when I'm done. Sometimes pain doesn't knock. It crashes in, uninvited, unforgiving. And it reminds you this journey will hurt. You fall hard. The breath leaves your lungs. Your body screams. And in that moment, it feels like everything stops. Dreams, progress, momentum, all shattered in a single second. This is the test no one talks about. Not the reps, not the workouts. But what happens when life hits back? All that work, all that sacrifice, and still you're here broken, and the voice comes in again. Maybe it's over. Maybe you've gone as far as you can. But that's the moment that matters. Not the fall, the rise, the choice to stand back up when everything in you says stay down. Pain is not your enemy. It's your instructor. It's teaching you what comfort never could, teaching you what you're made of. You see, it's easy to believe when you're winning. It's easy to be disciplined when everything goes right. But true growth, true character, that's forged in the fire, in the hurt, in the setbacks that feel like the end. Because pain has a purpose. It shows you your weakness, not to shame you, but so you know exactly where to grow. It breaks you, so it can rebuild you stronger. There are lessons that can't be learned in victory, only in the valley, only when you've tasted the dirt, the doubt, the darkness, and still decide to fight again. So yes, this hurts. Yes, this broke something, but it didn't break you, because you're still here, still breathing, still moving, and that means you're still becoming. You're not good enough. You're too tired. They were right about you. Why keep going? You hear it, don't you? That voice inside trying to break you down, whispering that you're weak, that you've had enough. But listen to me, that voice ain't truth. That's the lie fear tells when it's scared of what you might become. There's another voice, quieter, stronger. It don't scream. It don't beg. It reminds you, you were born for this. That pain you feel, it ain't punishment. It's progress. That struggle, it's not the end. It's the furnace where warriors are made. You want to quit? Good. That means it's getting real. But don't you dare stop. Not now. Not when you're this close to breaking through. The only voice that matters is the one that tells you, keep going. You're done. You'll never be the same again. You're slower, weaker. You've already failed too many times. That voice in your head, it's a liar. It's the echo of every moment you doubted your worth. But it doesn't speak truth. It speaks fear. Why bother trying again? What if you fall again? Everyone's moving forward but you. Maybe this dream just isn't for you. Look at me. That battle in your mind, that's the real fight. And if you don't take control, it will control you. You don't have what it takes. You never did. You've already made it through worse. You've already survived what was supposed to destroy you. That voice is afraid of what you'll become if you stop listening to it. The enemy isn't around you. It's inside you. But so is the answer. So is the strength. So is the fire. Train your mind like you train your body. Because if your mind breaks, your body will follow. But if your mind stands strong, there's nothing that can stop you. Pain is not the end. It's the beginning of change. Every drop of sweat, every tear you didn't let break you, every moment you wanted to quit but didn't. It's building something inside you the world can't see yet. Growth doesn't happen all at once. It's not loud. It's not glamorous. It happens in inches, in silence, in the choice to keep going when it still hurts. You can get stronger because it got easier. You got stronger because you got tougher. You stopped running from the pain, and you started pushing through it. This is what progress looks like. Messy, hard, painful, but powerful. Because pain isn't just a test. It's a tool, and you've been using it to carve out something unstoppable. You don't fear the hard days anymore. You welcome them, because you know what they bring. They bring growth. They bring change. They bring the version of you that only pain could unlock. You've come further than you realize, and you're not finished yet. This isn't the end of the fight. It's the proof that you were built for it. So when it hurts, remember, it's not a setback. It's a signal that you're rising, becoming, and stepping into the strength that was always in you, waiting to be revealed through the pain. There's a moment that comes after the grind, after the pain, after the lonely nights and the silent battles. It doesn't arrive with fireworks. It doesn't always shout. But when it comes, you feel it. This is a moment everything built toward. The setbacks, the failures, the voice that told you to quit. All of it led you here. People only see this part, the win, the photo finish, the gold medal, the shot that finally lands. But you know the truth. You didn't win here. You won in the dark. You won on the days when it hurt, and you showed up anyway. You won when no one clapped, and you kept going. You won the moment you said, I will not quit. This is a comeback. Not just a return to form, but a rebirth, a return to who you really are. Because the medal, the applause, that's not the reward. The real reward is knowing you didn't break, that you faced everything that was meant to crush you, and you rose. This isn't just about winning. It's about reclaiming your story. It's about proving to yourself that every ounce of pain had a purpose. You came back stronger, not because of talent, not because of luck, but because you refused to let pain define your ending. This is your victory. This is your moment. This is what happens when it hurts and you fight anyway. There comes a moment after the fight is over, when the crowd is gone, the lights fade, the noise disappears, and all that's left is you, not the version of you the world knew, not the version that doubted, not the one that fell. This is the version that endured. You see, victory isn't always loud. Sometimes it's the quiet confidence of looking yourself in the mirror and saying, I'm still here, and I'm still becoming. This is who you are now, not defined by the fall, but by the fight. You don't need to shout. You don't need to prove, because now you carry it. In how you move, in how you show up, in how you never quit. No matter how hard it gets, pain was never your enemy. It was your mirror. It showed you who you were, so you could become who you were meant to be. And now you walk different, not because the world changed, but because you did. Remember this, when it hurts, it's not the end. It's the beginning of you.